friends, family, and anglers alike, and well, I guess slingshot enthusiasts as well. Today we are going to be doing a review video, and it's going to be the Scout XT, which is the original, and it's versus the Scout LT. So right now in the comments, let me know which one you think is the winner and the best one of these two. And I'm just going to go ahead, I'll use the same band for both slingshots, do some shots with them. We'll just go ahead and we'll take maybe 20 or 30 shots with this and 20 or 30 shots with this one. We'll switch this band over and we'll see which one performs better. Let's go ahead. With some aspirin in it still, actually, that way we'll be able to see the end here when I hit it. And I'll leave this camera here. There we go. Okay, so I am going to go through everything with the slingshots afterwards, but I'm going to switch the bands out really quickly here. Okay, so I sped it up a little bit so you guys didn't get too bored, but didn't take too long, maybe 30 seconds, and then we are set up on the Scout XT. So we'll take 20 shots with this one, and then we will get into the details of each one. Alright, round 2, Scout XT. Here we go, 20 shots with the Scout XT. Zeroed in pretty quick with it. Two for two. Four for four. Five for five. Six for six. Nice. Alright, so that was a fun little shootout. Wasn't really fair because I kind of warmed up with the LT, and then by the time I got with the XT, I was zeroed in on the pill bottle. But either way, you can shoot super accurate on either frame, so that's really not the issue. Doesn't really matter either way. I've had great shots on both of them, but let's go ahead and get into the sizes now. Also, as you can notice, this came with the slightest little defect, and I let Simple Shot know about that, and they immediately apologized and offered to give me credit, which helped go towards this guy. So I gotta say, the customer service is awesome for Simple Shot either way, but this is the little defect, and if you wanted to count that against a point for it, that would be 1 point, but really it's not that big of a deal, because even if it does tear, you're not really always holding on to that part, especially if you're doing the pinch grip. So not too worried about that, and super nice of them to give me a credit, which helped me get this one, and I'm glad to have both of them. So we'll start with the handles. So we'll go from right about here down to there. You can see it's just under 4 inches, about 3 3/4, and then you go on to the Scout LT, and it's just about 3 inches. So there's like a 3/4 of an inch difference between the two handles, and the biggest difference I find is the thickness of the handles. So like, say we start here and just see what the thickness of it is around. That is almost 5 inches, like 4 3/4. And then you go to the Scout LT, and it is literally like it's not even 4. So it's like 3 3/4. So that is definitely the biggest difference between the two. Like, you could see the thickness. If you were like taller than 5'10" and had big hands, you would definitely want to choose this one. I would say that's definitely one thing to look at. So the next thing is the fork gap, and we got 2 inches straight across there, pretty easy to tell. And then here you got 2.5 inches. So the fork gap is 1/2 inch bigger on this one. So say you're worried about hitting the fork or something, you're definitely going to have a little bit less of a chance with this one. For lots of people, they shoot pinch grip. Not a whole bunch of people I've seen shoot hammer grip yet, but it's definitely something to consider, because if you go right here, you can see that's 2.5 inches right across there. And then here it is about 2 1/4. And that 1/4 inch makes quite a bit of difference for when you're in the pinch grip. So if you have bigger hands, you're definitely looking at the Scout XT. As for other measurements, like, these are pretty much the same size and everything, as you can see. Not a whole lot of difference between them. So the biggest differences are those first ones that I mentioned. Okay, so let's do a summary of both, and we'll go over the positives and negatives of each. So we'll start with the Scout LT, which is the smaller handled frame. And we're going to start with the bonuses. The obvious bonuses are the customs you can do to it. You can take these scales off. You can have like multiple colors, so you got different color combinations. You could store something in there, or you can put a little weight, which makes your handle a little bit heavier. So there's like tons of different customizations you could do. You could put paracord on there and not even have scales if you wanted it super lightweight for a survival trip or something like that. My favorite bonus of this one is it fits in my bag way easier than that one does. When I'm going up in the mountains and stuff, and I want to have my Slingshot with me for some shooting, or if I want to do some hunting videos on long hikes, then this will be the way to go. So sorry, I thought I seen something in the bushes there, but I think it was just like a butterfly. Also, you can see this one has different screws than this one. That's because I bought these ones separately. These are hand screws, so it just makes it easier. You don't have to have a coin or a screwdriver to tighten your screws at all. So you can do that with this one as well. So that's nothing better about this one. That's just something custom I put on there. Let's go over the negatives of the LT, which honestly is hard to find. So the one negative I will say is trying to get the screw in initially was so tight that I thought I was gonna strip it. Like, it was, I don't know if you like really have to break that plastic, but it definitely took some effort, and I had to make sure I had the exact right screwdriver or I was gonna strip it. So that kind of sucked a little bit. Not a huge flaw, but it is something to look out for. So make sure you have a good screwdriver set when you get your new LT in the mail, if it's the one you decide. Alright, second fault of the LT. If you are a big guy, say you're like 6 foot, you got huge hands, this is going to be a pretty small slingshot for you. You might find it to be too small. Like, for me, I can go in the pinch grip and my fingers aren't even touching, but if you're 6 foot plus, you might have issues with it being too small, fingers getting in the way. So that's something to look out for. Overall, this is an awesome slingshot, and I like the color frame of it more than that one. So that's something that you can get on either one. These come in the same colors, and I like how it's so customizable. And I'm probably going to order some different scales. I might even try the weight for it that you can put in there. It's supposed to make it just a little bit more weighted, although I won't really need that when I'm going on a hike, so I don't know if I'll try that. But I do like trying different things and making different customizations on these. Rather than that, there's not a whole lot of differences between the two, so let's move on to this one. Alright, so the bonuses of this one is, honestly, you almost feel like you have a tiny bit more stability because it is a larger, heavier slingshot. So that would probably be a bonus, especially if you're a bigger person, you got bigger hands. This is going to feel a lot better in the hands, I believe. That's one bonus. Alright, second bonus is this actually has a pretty nice rubberized feel, which this LT does not. It's like a plasticky, hard plasticky feel, which is fine. I don't really use that part, but that's something to look out for if you want to use the hammer grip. The feel of this one is probably going to be better feeling. It's more of a hammer grip type slingshot. Another bonus of this beauty is this is like their classic. This is, I'm pretty sure, one of the first ones they started out with. Don't quote me on that, I don't know that much about them, but I know this is the classic, and you can't go wrong with a classic, right? Another bonus about this one is I honestly have felt a little bit less hand slap than the LT. Sometimes I know I start leaning my wrist a little bit too far this way and I get a little bit of hand slap with the LT. This one doesn't give me as much hand slap, so there's another bonus for this one. And the last bonus of this one over the LT is you could definitely put bigger bands on this one. Like, I know these 7/16 bands on here, they have a tiny bit of overlap, which is like almost as big as you probably want to go on the LT. I know that you could fold them and do lots of different things, but if you're just putting them on just normally like that, about 7/16, you know, that's about the width of the fork, so that's about the perfect size for this. This one you could get away with putting a 1/2 inch on this way, I'm pretty sure. So that's one thing to look forward to with this one over that one, is you could put bigger bands on this, get less hand slap. Alright, so the downfalls of this one is the weight. The weight is definitely heavier than this one. Like, this one is, it's got to be like almost half the weight. Actually, I think they say on their site, so I'll put it up if I can figure that out. The weight of it and the thickness of it, it makes it a lot more difficult to carry in your pocket. Not that it's not possible if you got some big pockets, but like I know, like, if you buy those Slingshot pouches that you can hang it in, putting this one in is definitely a lot more difficult than putting that one in. So there's a downfall of this one. So the next downfall from the LT is that this one is just not as customizable. Like, you could wrap some paracord there, but rather than that, you can't really change the color of it. It is what it is, which isn't bad. And I'm gonna say the last downfall, which I really hate dinging them with this, but that little defect right there, that is just one more thing that could fail on it potentially. I don't think it's going to. I honestly think it just might even stop there, but over the years it might rip it and deteriorate. But that is just one thing that could just go wrong after a while. I guess you could have the screw rust out as well or something like that, but the chances seem a little less likely on that. I feel like the handle is more durable on this one, but this one feels nicer. So all in all, I am super happy to have both of these Slingshots, and I hope I went over enough of the specifics and you guys got an idea of which one you want to get. Honestly, I'm pretty happy having both of them, and if I do want to get some big 1/2 inch bands, I got this bad boy. If I want to go on a hike and have this one in my back pocket, this is the way to go. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please make sure to give this a like and be subscribed, and I will do more videos like this. If this one hits a decent amount of likes, then you'll see more videos like this. So I hope you all enjoyed the review, and we'll see you on the next one.